This is Softeller Tech Briefs. Today we're looking at how to hire .NET developers, who they are, what skills matter at each experience level, how to run a solid hiring process, where to find talent, and common mistakes teams should avoid. Major technology companies have shaped software development in profound ways. Some revolutionized their own businesses. Others changed how enterprises everywhere approach building software and applications. Microsoft's .NET framework falls into that second category. .NET was designed as a response to the growing popularity of frameworks such as Java, which became a go-to choice partly because of platform independence. From the start, .NET was built to be language agnostic, supporting multiple programming languages, especially C#, F#, and VB.NET. That multi-language support has made .NET a practical option for enterprises building web, mobile, desktop, and cross-platform applications. It also reduces friction when assembling teams because organizations can bring together developers with different language strengths on the same project and still deliver cohesive results. But language flexibility alone doesn't explain .NET's staying power. From its early days as a proprietary framework, through open-source .NET Core, Unified .NET 5, and the modern .NET releases that followed, Microsoft has continued to evolve the platform for today's development landscape. That ongoing investment is one reason companies adopt .NET with confidence. They know the ecosystem will remain supported. Still, skilled .NET developers are what turn the platform into fully functional applications. Today, we'll walk through how to hire a .NET developer, the skills and experience to look for, the steps to take, and the pitfalls to avoid. Who is a .NET developer? A .NET developer is a software developer who specializes in the .NET framework to design, develop, and maintain applications. Typically, they're proficient in languages like C#, F#, and Visual Basic, with experience across web, mobile, and enterprise solutions. Their contribution goes well beyond writing code. Depending on the project, team structure, and organizational goals, they may take on several distinct responsibilities. In application development, .NET developers help design scalable software architectures that work with both new applications and legacy systems. They also turn abstract concepts into working software using frameworks like .NET MVC and ASP.NET MVC, keeping code organized and maintainable as applications grow. Collaboration and communication are central to the role. Skilled .NET developers work within cross-functional teams to achieve business goals, gather requirements, and keep stakeholders informed on project progress. After deployment, maintenance and support become critical. .NET developers identify and resolve bugs before they escalate into system-wide issues, and they upgrade applications by integrating new features, version updates, and security patches. On testing and quality assurance, .NET programmers often write and run unit tests on individual components before those pieces are integrated into larger features. They also participate in code reviews to ensure everything entering the shared repository meets team standards. In project management, developers contribute by working within timelines and managing their own workloads. They track progress against schedules and available resources at each stage of delivery. Finally, experienced .NET developers often provide strategic insight, recommending the right technologies, frameworks, and infrastructure for a given initiative, and drawing on past projects to suggest ways to optimize code and application performance. Key skills to look for when hiring .NET developers. What separates an adequate .NET developer from an excellent one comes down to skills and experience. But even strong technical specialists can struggle if they lack the complementary abilities needed to work effectively in a collaborative environment. Here are the non-negotiable capabilities to look for. On the technical side, .NET developers should be proficient in core languages like C# and at least conversant with F# and VB.NET. They should know how to use .NET-specific frameworks and tools such as ASP.NET Core, .NET MVC, and Entity Framework when building scalable web and desktop applications. Database management matters as well. Strong candidates can design efficient database structures and write optimized queries for data-driven applications. SQL Server experience is especially common in .NET environments. Front-end integration isn't always required for junior roles, but more experienced developers should have some familiarity with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and ideally with modern frameworks such as Blazor or Angular when building interactive web applications. Cloud computing has become increasingly important. Look for developers who understand how to deploy, scale, and manage applications on platforms like Microsoft Azure and its related services. Version control and CI/CD experience is essential, typically with Git for source control and tools like Azure DevOps for deployment pipelines. API and web services skills round out the technical profile. Developers who understand web APIs and RESTful service design can connect modern applications and services more effectively. On the soft skills side, communication is critical. A good .NET developer can explain complex technical concepts clearly to both technical colleagues and non-technical stakeholders. Collaboration matters because .NET projects rarely happen in isolation. Candidates should work well with people from different backgrounds and disciplines. Problem-solving ability helps developers identify and address technical challenges as they arise during delivery. Adaptability is equally important in an ecosystem that continues to evolve. Strong candidates stay current with new frameworks, libraries, and methodologies. Time management helps .NET developers balance multiple tasks, deadlines, and project commitments within structured workflows. Skills by experience level. Expectations should differ depending on whether you're hiring junior, mid-level, or senior talent. A junior developer should have a basic understanding of C# and .NET concepts, the ability to work on smaller, well-defined tasks, familiarity with SQL for database operations, and basic knowledge of version control systems. A mid-level developer should be proficient in .NET MVC and Web API development, competent with Entity Framework for complex data interactions, experienced with front-end technologies when full-stack work is required, and capable of participating in code reviews. A senior developer should bring deep expertise across .NET technologies, the ability to make strategic architectural decisions, experience mentoring junior developers, strong knowledge of the full project lifecycle from scoping through deployment, and extensive experience scaling applications on cloud platforms. Hiring the right .NET developer. Finding the right .NET developer is a substantial undertaking. Your evaluation should go beyond technical credentials into cultural fit and interpersonal skills. Here's a practical process to follow. Start by defining your project requirements. Clarify scope, tools, and any specialized skills you need. Your stack might include ASP.NET, MVC for web applications, .NET Core for cross-platform development, or SQL Server for data management. Let those requirements drive your hiring plan. Next, choose a hiring model. Options include in-house developers, remote teams, third-party agencies, or freelancers. Remote and outsourced models can offer cost efficiency and specialized expertise, but each approach has distinct trade-offs in control, communication, and long-term continuity. Craft a clear job posting that describes responsibilities, required technical skills, important soft skills, and relevant .NET project experience. Publish it on professional networks, job boards, or developer communities where .NET talent is active. When resumes and portfolios arrive, look for proven work with .NET technologies. Prioritize candidates who have contributed to projects similar to yours, participated in open-source .NET work, or earned relevant certifications. Strong resumes show not only technical depth but also evidence of problem-solving in real projects. Use initial interviews to assess cultural fit and communication. Discuss how candidates have handled past .NET challenges and how they stay current as the framework evolves. This is where you gauge whether they'll integrate well with your team. Technical interviews should go deeper. Ask about core and advanced .NET concepts, including .NET Core, Entity Framework, and Web API where relevant. Include problem-solving exercises, such as building a small application or correcting flawed .NET code, to see how candidates perform on practical tasks. Don't undervalue soft skills when building a .NET team. Use scenario-based questions to assess collaboration and the ability to explain technical ideas to different audiences. Pre-employment coding tests add another layer of insight into efficiency and adherence to industry best practices. Platforms like Codility and HackerRank offer .NET-focused assessments for various experience levels. Reference checks and review of past work, including open-source contributions or live applications, help validate professional history and real-world capability. When you've selected the right candidate, make a fair, structured offer that reflects their value and role in the project. Invest in onboarding. Introduce them to the team, existing workflows, and clear responsibilities from day one. Where to find .NET developers? Developer platforms and communities such as GitHub and Stack Overflow are valuable sourcing channels. GitHub reveals what a developer has built and how actively they contribute. Stack Overflow reflects how they solve problems within the .NET community. Traditional job boards like LinkedIn, Indeed, and Glassdoor help you reach a broad audience. LinkedIn supports skill-based targeting for areas like .NET Core or ASP.NET. Broader boards can surface both active and passive candidates. Freelance platforms such as Upwork, TopTal, and Fiverr connect you with .NET developers open to project-based work rather than full-time employment. Some platforms focus on pre-vetted talent, which can help when you need specialized skills quickly. IT staffing agencies and outsourcing companies can handle much of the sourcing and initial vetting process, often providing access to a global pool of .NET developers with diverse skill sets. If you go this route, it helps to understand different engagement models, including nearshore and offshore options, and how each affects communication, cost, and control. Other outreach strategies include developer forums, hackathons, and university collaborations. Community participation, including spaces where .NET enthusiasts gather, can surface motivated candidates who may not be actively browsing job boards. .NET is widely used in finance, healthcare, e-commerce, and enterprise applications, industries that value scalable, secure, high-performance software. That breadth means talent exists across many channels. The challenge is evaluating it rigorously. Common mistakes to avoid. Several hiring mistakes come up frequently, and avoiding them saves time, budget, and project risk. One is focusing only on technical skills. A developer who excels technically but lacks communication or teamwork can disrupt workflows and slow progress. Balance technical evaluation with people skills throughout the interview process. Another is overlooking practical experience. Candidates strong on theory may struggle with real-world tasks like optimizing .NET applications or integrating new systems with legacy infrastructure. Review portfolios and past projects carefully, including debugging, testing, and architecture work. Failing to define clear role expectations creates problems too. If you don't specify whether experience with ASP.NET Core, Entity Framework, or SQL Server is required, you may spend resources interviewing candidates who are never a fit. Write detailed job descriptions that spell out required skills and the types of projects involved: web development, cloud integration, mobile work, or otherwise. Neglecting cultural fit can cause friction even when technical skills are strong. Use behavioral interviews to understand how candidates work, what environment they thrive in, and whether their values align with your team. If the role is remote, don't skip assessing remote work capabilities. Ask how candidates use collaboration tools, manage time, and stay accountable when working across locations, especially when deadlines and coordination matter. Finally, don't ignore continuous learning. The .NET ecosystem evolves constantly. Developers who aren't committed to staying current may deliver solutions that fall behind modern standards. Ask how candidates keep skills sharp through certifications, community participation, or open-source contribution. Closing takeaway. Hiring .NET developers involves many variables: engagement model, budget, project requirements, and the right mix of technical and interpersonal skills. Developers with deep expertise but poor collaboration can struggle to integrate with existing teams and workflows. The key is preparation. Define what you need, evaluate candidates thoroughly on both technical and cultural dimensions, and choose a sourcing and hiring model that fits your timeline and long-term plans. With that foundation, your next strong hire, whether junior, mid-level, or senior, is well within reach. If you'd like to learn more about software development, AI, cloud, data engineering, and digital transformation, visit us at softeller.com.